Man, oh man, look at all these guests. We are going to have a big meeting tonight, I think. Did I mute everybody's mics? Nope, I see some open
Testing,
mics there.
testing,
There we
testing.
go. Okay, I didn't think I did that, but don't give me a reason to do it. Uh,
Don't threaten me with a good time.
we're up to 12 now. I see more people still joining. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see a lot of people I emailed asking to make some reports tonight. Appreciate you being here.
Oh, did I sign in on it? Somehow I just knocked myself off.
No, you're on there, Steve. Oh, yeah, I see you.
Don't
Your
say
own
anything embarrassing, Steve.
your own picture may disappear if somebody else is talking temporarily. If you guys have any background noise, TVs or other people talking, if you could mute your own mic, that would be appreciated.
Yeah. Off. Yes.
Nice test there, Bob. Was that an actual drumstick? A baton? Oh, a ruler. Well, to rule them all.
Gonna have to crack some knuckles there.
Yeah. I gotta go find my little agenda that I wrote up here. Pick a screen, any screen here. I'm going to apologize up front. I was up all night. I did take a little nap this afternoon. But if I slur my words, I promise it's not because I've been drinking.
You dealing cards all night?
No, I did play poker a couple nights ago, made a couple $100, but that was my only session. I brought my golf clubs too. I haven't golfed yet. By the way, I'm in Las Vegas as we speak. You can see the lovely Orleans decor behind me.
Hey, how many USB ports do they have in the room?
As many as I brought with me with AC adapters on them. Well, yeah, and I got two on my computer. I'm good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but none in the room.
none in the room. You're right. You're right. All right, we got 20 people in. It is 6 o'clock. Again, let me go find my
Can you hear it?
agenda here. All right, well, let's get ready to rock and roll. Let's do a little let's call this meeting to order and do a little roll call of the board members. I see Jim, um, Bud, I see Mike. Bud, are you on the call?
See yourself?
Uh-huh.
Hi. Um, yeah, Bud was in the closed session earlier, so I'm sure he'll be popping in. And then we missing anybody from the list? Richard Huber, are you here? I don't see him yet. But I think that would be it. Bud and Richard would be the last ones.
Yeah, I still haven't heard back from Mike Siskin.
Okay. Barry Berkowitz is joining. That'll be good for our Google Cloud report. All right, well, let's get this rolling. This meeting is being recorded, and we use or Zoom has an AI generated minutes taking feature, which is really nice. And those will be viewable by anybody that's on the call, and we can also publish a link to them for other people to see as well. So be mindful of what you say. Okay, we got 24 in the call. Let's go on to our first report. Treasurer, Bud. Oh, Bud's still not here. I guess we're not going to go to Bud. Steve, do you need to get going? You- Oh, you're muted, Steve.
Okay.
There you
Yeah,
go.
that would be helpful.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and I know you're busy.
Well, I know Mike has asked for um, files to be sent up that he's tested out a website in order to put the magazine up on. I know he tested uh, with me, uh, and then he wanted something to show the board. He said I gave him a program because I was having problems trying to figure out how to combine the two files that we currently use to print the magazine, because the cover and the cover in the back has a spine on it. So it goes in as one file, and then the rest of the magazine goes in as a separate file. So I have to do a little research to figure out how to merge the two. But what came up looked pretty good. I was happy with it. So
Very good. And so the scheduled ship date for the magazine is March 15th. Is that correct?
estimated,
Yeah, I know it's estimated, but
yeah.
just so everybody knows, if you go to the calendar feature of the club forums, there's a calendar there, and I put in all of the tentative due dates for articles and ads and the tentative date for shipping the magazine. So you can check schedules there if you'd like, in addition to the convention dates and other notable dates. And you can see a lot of people's birthdays, which is always fun if you want to send somebody a happy birthday. Um, but anything else, Steve? Did you get enough articles for this time?
Well, there's still a couple to be dripped in as far as candidates things, statements and whatever.
Okay.
Um, it's probably going to be close. Um, like normal, it's not. I don't have an abundance. It would be nice to have extra that I've got a cushion for the next issue, which is what happened with the September, the fall issue. I had wound up having extra that helped with the winter issue. Uh, I held back Bob Perdue's circus article, and was able to add to it with photos of that I could find to add it and pad it out a little bit. So it would be nice to be in that kind of a position as opposed to always scrounging around.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
so
Well, thank you very much for everything you do. I know it's a big, big task, and you're kind of doing it more or less alone. Well, I mean, with contributors, but
yeah,
doing
yeah.
a lot of it
Well,
by yourself, and we appreciate you, especially with you having to take care of Tina.
yeah, we still have that situation going
Yeah.
on. I mean, she's doing well. I was able to take her down to Florida for a week actually last week for some R&R, more for me than for her. Um, but she's still going to PT 3 times a week. She's still not driving, but she's starting to do a little more around the house. But it's still quite a load here.
All right. Well, thank you again for everything you do. Bud, I just chatted with Bud. He's going to be a couple minutes late, but he will be on the call. Um, so let's move on to membership. Mr. Naraki.
All right, I'm going to share my screen if I know how to do this.
Is everybody able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
All right, so I might take a little bit more than 2 minutes, but not too much more. So just kind of want to go through like I did last board meeting and like I plan to all the future board meetings, kind of review what the activities I've been up to, and then share the membership statistics. So everybody has the same information when they're having discussions or making decisions or anything like that. So the activities, the first thing is the resurrection of the recruiter of the year. So we haven't given that award out at the past two conventions because we had smaller numbers and there were ties involved and whatnot. But I am actively trying to promote this concept. So offering out of my own personal pocket a dinner to whoever recruits the most new members between last convention and the next convention. And we're going to have a plaque at the banquet like we used to have in the past. So I'm going to be posting routine updates on the numbers that people have. And I already have two people that are very competitive and want to see themselves as the winner. So be on the lookout for that. And please do your part that you can to recruit your friends and fellow collectors and advertise us wherever you can to get our membership numbers changing direction.
And to be clear, this is regular members, not associate members.
We'll have a count for all the different categories. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. All right, then part of our retention plan, I created the membership assistance fund and very pleased to announce that we have received numerous donations. So for those people that may be experiencing a temporary financial hardship and have trouble paying their membership dues, we have fellow collectors that are willing to cover their dues on a one-time basis. So as I am sending out renewal reminders, I'm going to be mentioning this. And the last thing we want to do is lose an excited collector because of a financial hindrance. So thank you to all of you that have donated to this fund. I know I see a lot of names on here that have been participating in that. So it's going to a good cause. Anniversary pins, sent out 20 that were awarded in Q4, and we have 28 to award in the first quarter of 2026, although it says 2025 right there. It's a typo. So I know some of you appreciate that. Anybody that's on the call that hasn't gotten a pin that thinks they should, just reach out and we can check in to see when it should have been awarded and why you might not have received it. Volunteer opportunities. So every time I communicate with all new members or all renewing members, I'm adding information about the volunteer positions that we're looking for. So we don't always need people volunteering that have been members of the organization for a number of years. So sometimes maybe a newbie possesses some of the qualities that we need to fill one of our open positions. So if you know anybody that's able to help us out, please let somebody know. But I want you to know that we're advertising it to all of our newbies. Former member processing. So this is something for people that are joining that have an inactive account. We're updating the bylaws to be very specific about when this comes into play. So people that want to maintain their member number, they know what that's going to entail as cost-wise. And I am communicating with these types of folks differently than I do with the new members or the renewing members, because there are some differences that it puts in my process that we need to make sure we get taken care of. So if you're one of those folks that likes to be a member and then not a member for a year or two and then join again and then not again, this will be impacting you as we move forward. And then Steve mentioned the magazine. So I'm resurrected the member profiles. And so this next issue will have an old timer article from Chuck Mades and a newbie from Jimmy Hulsman, who he's been around for a year or so, and he's actually heading up the Ohio show that I think Mark Albritton used to do in the past. So a couple of good articles. I really enjoy doing them. Hopefully you guys really enjoy reading them. Then on the member statistics, here's where we stood at the end of 2025 on the upper left. So our total life members, that number did not change between Q3 and Q4. So remained at 267. Our associate members didn't change, and our regular members, that number dropped by a net of 6. So to explain that, the graph on the right shows each quarter the number of people that did not renew in the top 4 red lines, and then the number of new memberships that we got in the green lines. And so we lost a total of 119 members, and we got a total of 101 new members for a net loss of 18. So, there's lots of reasons behind all of these things. If you've got any questions about any of these specific numbers, feel free to reach out and let me know. But this is where we stand, and these are the numbers that I'm working hard to, again, try to retain as many of the members that we currently have by communicating with them when the renewals are due, and trying to get our new membership numbers up by promoting things like the Recruiter of the Year. All right, and then this is a graphical that shows quarter by quarter. So how many people's memberships were set to expire in each quarter? And you see where we are right now in Q1. We've got nearly double the amount that I processed last month. We had 2 people communicate that they didn't want to renew, and they completed an exit survey. So these happen to be a husband and a wife that were longtime members, 21 to 25 years membership that just have gotten out of collecting. And 17 that I deactivated for lack of response to the 6 times I tried to reach out to them. So these are the things I'm trying to improve with good data. And the last thing I want to share is the number of years somebody was a member who we deactivated last quarter. So you see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 year people. This is a sign that we need to improve somehow to make it meaningful for somebody to stick around more than 1 year. So I challenge everybody on here to come up with some ideas about how we can focus improving the benefits for these new 1 and 2 year members so they don't become the one and dones. So I appreciate any suggestions anybody has about how we can make it more palatable to keep those folks around, because quarter over quarter, these are the biggest people we lose. These are the biggest groups of members. So once we can get people past 2 or 3 years, they tend to stick around. So it behooves us to make that happen. All right, so that's all I wanted to share. If anybody has any questions, give me an email or give me a call, or ask at the end when we open it up for questions.
Yeah, for those who don't know, his email address is membership@ccgtcc.com.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Let's move on to Mr. Jim Follis. Do you have any vice presidential stuff to report on, or do you want to do Moog stuff?
Well, I can do Moog later after Charles presents. But
okay.
Or whatever.
All right. Let's go on to, I don't think Bud's on yet. Bud, are you on yet?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
here.
Oh, he's there. There you go. Yeah, go ahead, Bud. Let's do the treasurer's report.
Not too much exciting stuff. The financial statements for last year went out. I'm sure they'll show up in the next magazine. Nothing earth-shaking to report.
Okay. Bud and I are working on a 10-year forward-looking sort of pro forma to project out what we think our expenses and income are going to be. And so when that's ready, we'll publish that to everybody so people can see the hopefully change in the financial health of the club going forward. So something we're working on. Okay, thank you, Bud.
One question.
Yeah.
I can only see my picture and not the speaker. What did I do wrong on my Zoom meeting?
There's a place you can click for different layouts. I'm trying to, it's under view in the upper right
View?
corner.
I see it.
Choose gallery probably. If you do
Oh.
gallery, you see everybody, and then whoever's
Right.
talking highlights in green. If you choose speaker, then you only see whoever's speaking.
That's the one I wanted, speaker.
All right, you got it. All right. Let's move on to.
Speaker. Okay, I think that's what I had, but it just shows me.
Well, quit talking. Um,
Still see me.
well, I don't know what to tell you, but we're going to move on
All
and
right, go ahead.
hope
I'll
that
look
you
at
can,
me.
yeah. Let's go down to the election. Doug, you want to give us the status of the election?
Yeah, we just finished the nomination process. Nominations were last ones came in Saturday. For the first time in many years, probably close to 20 years, we have multiple contested elections. So, and pretty much every position other than Barry's was up for election this point or this time. Not because it's scheduled, but we had the secretary resign as well as the at-large number two resign. So pretty much everyone was up. But what we will have, I just finished a ballot, which I'll send to the board to review. But for vice president, we've got three nominees. It's going to be Jim Folis, Dan Madrugino, and Ed Hertel. And then for the secretary, we got Bob Pardue and Wendy Schultz. And for the at-large number two, which is the two-year position, it's Richard Huber, Bob Mixall, and Rick Lonsky. So those are the three positions. The other positions, which are pretty much guaranteed a spot because they were the only people running. Bud is lucky enough to remain treasurer, and Mike was lucky enough to become or remain as membership officer. And then I'd like to welcome our at-large number one, which is a position that fills Eric Friedner's position. That's now going to be filled by Rick Pokrocki. So Riverboat Rick will be there in that position. So we've got three people who don't need an election because they were uncontested, and we'll have three that are contested. I'm waiting on the board to finalize. We'll also have a couple of amendments in this election. Depending on how many come in, it might be a separate page. It might be on the back of the nomination form. We'll have to see when it comes in how everything fits. Right now, I'm planning on getting this out to Steve for the magazine, hopefully by next weekend. And then the date that they're due is going to be May 23rd with a postmark and received in hand by May 30th. So if the magazine goes out middle of March, everyone should get them by the end of March. That gives everyone basically 2 months to get them in. Unlike the nominations, the ballots have to be mailed. And keep in mind to read the rules on it. You need to put your name and membership number on the back of the envelope. That way we can check you off that you're actually a valid member. One person does that, takes the ballot out, and then the other person actually counts the ballot. So I, as the election chair, will not know who voted for who. And anybody who hasn't, as Steve mentioned, also waiting on candidate statements. I know that I've been told that Jim, Dan, Bob Pardue, and Bob Mixall have already sent one in. So if the other ones, if you want to, we could use one from Ed, from Wendy Schultz, Rick Lonsky, and Richard Huber.
All right.
That's pretty much all I got. Unless if you have any questions, election@ccgtcc.com.
Can I ask an election question?
No.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So two of the positions, secretary and the member at large that's not disputed, are results of resignations.
Right.
Let's go through each of them real quick. So the member at large, resignation, and there's only one candidate. When does that person start?
At the business meeting at the convention. All officers are installed or reinstalled at the business meeting. So no, winners can't start early. We actually had a discussion about that for the uncontested ones. Could they start early since they're uncontested? And we're gonna check the bylaws, constitution, and previous history on that. But as of right now, they will not start until the business meeting.
I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything that stops them from participating, but they don't have a vote, or they don't have, for example, the secretary wouldn't get a vote or formally be installed until the business meeting. I
Well,
assume if the board wants to involve them in some discussions that are going on, they could, but really they're not
I think
effective until the business meeting.
I think that's kind of the issue is, for instance, we have closed board sessions, right? Should
Right.
they be allowed to be in the closed board session, even though they haven't been installed officially yet? So we're going to look into that. For now, I think we're leaning more towards the just wait till the business meeting to do business. And
Just to say that that has actually been done before. For example, when David Sprague took over as president after Jerry left, it was an immediate thing to start. Wasn't official until the board meeting, but was involved. And that's happened several times in the past when somebody has left. We filled that position. That person started right away. We haven't done it through an election. Those were somebody who was appointed. For example, Mike Naraki was appointed treasurer or a membership officer after
Jay.
Jay left.
Yeah,
So
the reason that was allowed was because Jay had served his first year of his 2-year term, and so the
correct.
president can appoint somebody at that point. Anything prior to that, it has to be a special election.
Okay.
So,
Right. Also, I'll add that when Jerry resigned, Sprague was then on the board as the secretary. And so he couldn't go into the president's position even when he was elected. He was the current secretary. So that's kind of like splitting hairs. You can't really
That makes
define
sense.
it as sitting in as the president because I was managing stuff as the vice president, not as the president acting, but just in the president's absence is where I would fill in or did.
Bob, you said you had a second question?
No,
No.
that answered my question because I was looking through all the bylaws and all this stuff, and it's clear if somebody is appointed after the first year, it kind of makes sense. Like you're not going to say, I'm going to appoint you, but you can't really do it until the next election or the next
right.
annual board meeting. But I couldn't find any direction either way. Like, what does it mean? Like for the it talks about having an election as soon as possible, and I didn't know if that also implied an installation as soon as possible.
No, it's not covered in our Constitution. What we're looking at, we're trying to research it, but we don't know if there's any hidden information. That we're just not aware of as it relates to being incorporated in the state of Nevada. But also, we want to take a look at Robert's rules of order to see if it might be addressed in there because we tend to follow Robert's rules of orders. But we just need a little bit of time to work on it. But meanwhile, the election hasn't happened. And so we have that time until we have the elected.
Well, you sort of have the election has happened for the member at large that's undisputed.
Right. No, I understand that. I do understand that.
Well, give us a few days or a week or two. We'll
Yeah.
figure out what course of action we want to take on that. Anything else for elections? No. All right.
All I have.
Oh, go ahead.
That's all I had.
Oh, okay. And by the way, just so everybody knows, I think I may have already posted about this. The board has agreed we're not going to get involved in endorsing or anti-endorsing anybody. Have your discussions publicly. Please keep them civil. We know that we've had issues in the past with arguments breaking out over who likes who and who doesn't like who well. So, support your candidates, but the board will be oddly or appropriately silent on the matter and hope everybody understands that and appreciates that. So
I was very moved by the all the ice out pins on the at the award show the other night. I'm going to get a Barry out pin that I could wear at the convention.
Barry out. You can't get me out for at least another year. So ha on you. Well, Bob, since you've been talking already, why don't you go ahead and give us your Bob is our newly appointed mentoring program director. So why don't you give us a little report, an update on what you've been doing?
Sure.
Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you. Yep. So I've been following up with a few folks. Actually, there's somebody on the call right now, Darren Howard, who I had a great call with. He's my first mentee that I reached out to. I reached out to a few people who had signed up recently and had shown interest in getting mentored. Got one from somebody in Scotland, and I have to hear back from them about when's a good time to talk. But Darren and I had a great conversation yesterday, and look forward with connecting with anyone who is interested in being mentored. If you haven't gotten that opportunity and you're interested, I'll throw it in the chat here. I'm going to be replying to some of the posts on some of the message boards soon, just pointing out, just introducing myself, and then also pointing, we got a document up on the club website that we've revamped a little bit, some of the wording of the program um, around kind of what it is and who it's for and what the goals are. So, we'll post that up. And if somebody's looking to contact me either to be a mentor, if you have an area that you're specializing in and you want to connect with new members, or again, if you are a newer collector and you want to connect, both of those, send me an email to at mentor at ccgtcc.com.
Has anybody asked how to write long emails? Because that's kind of my jam. Yeah, not yet.
Over communicating. I'll put you on the list.
Yeah. All right. I'm your guy. All right. Well, thank you very much, Bob, for stepping into that role. Steve Miller, we already heard from. And let's see. Are we down to no, let's go down to technology and Google Workspace. Barry Berkowitz, I saw you on the call. Would you like to give us a little update on what's been happening in that world?
Sure. Here's a brief update on the Google Workspace project. So we've successfully implemented Google for nonprofits and created a CCA Gmail account. We also set up a Google Workspace account and created a file structure for organizing the files by committee and specialty area. And we also migrated all of the CCGTCC email accounts. So all email accounts are up and running, with only 4 having not been accessed by their responsible owner. So we are nudging them to make sure everyone is using their email address. The board is actively using the chat feature for instant chats, like instant messaging. Also, the polling feature for handling internal voting, and Google Sheets and Google Docs for creating and collaborating on live files. And our fearless leader, President Sherwood, is monitoring about 10 email accounts that were either forwarded or for vacant positions, so to make sure that no emails are lost or ignored. And so I am willing to help any current or past board member or committee lead to migrate their CCA data onto our club, our shared drive. So feel free to reach out to me. Remember, not everything has to be migrated immediately, but as there are new projects like the convention, the auction, the magazine, or you find yourself having new files that relate to the club, it's good to store them in a central place so that they are preserved.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, we definitely need a lot more people to push files up. I know there's people even on this call that have yet to use the. I created an upload folder for virtually anyone I found in any historical document that held an office or a chair position in the past. Sent them each an email saying, please push um, some files up if you have them. They could be minutes, they could be actions taken, working documents, whatever. And when you push them up to that folder, you can let Barry B or Barry S know that you've done that, and one of us will go in and categorize and file them where they need to go for hysterical and historical purposes. But thank you very much, Barry, for jumping in and helping with that project. And I'm seeing some other notes there. So anyway, thank you very much.
The Moog has a library already in place for their documents and files.
Okay.
And it's a little more feature rich than just dumping stuff into a folder. When you upload a file, you capture the author, a description, and when you look at the library, you can filter it out by what kind of document it is or who submitted it, or, things like that.
Yeah, Google
So,
does that as well. Plus, it will even track changes. In fact, the three of us could go in and edit the same Google sheet, which is a Excel type spreadsheet. We can be editing it literally at the same time. And Barry B's cell will be highlighted in pink, and Charles, yours might be blue, and mine might be green. And you can see where everybody is working on the document in a very collaborative fashion. On top of that, we can apply do they call them labels or tags? But yes, you can even tag files with certain types so that even though they're not in the same folder as something else, if they're related, you can do that as well. And Charles, I chatted with you about seeing if you wanted to move the Moog email over to the Google Workspace because I believe we can do multiple domains, although I haven't verified that yet. I think you kind of said you have that handled internally. And if you want to
yeah,
keep
we really don't. We only have two real email addresses. Everything else is forwarding
Right,
addresses.
but if you had them in the Google Workspace, those users or that user, however many you have, you would have access to calendaring, group chatting, all the things that help with collaboration would be integrated and integrated between the Moog and the CCA. It would all be as much of one big happy family as you can make it, but also I believe you can have your own separate areas that, you can set permissions basically so that if you don't want certain people seeing certain things, that can happen. But it's just an open offer. I know you've got a framework already set up, and it would be a pain in the butt to change. So I'm not like, making any like demands or thou shalts, but it's there if you guys want to do it.
Thank you.
So you're welcome.
And the
Mr. Barry B, anything else on the technology side from you?
Nope, that's the update.
Okay.
I'll throw in just one thing for folks who may not be kind of involved with it. I'll say the biggest difference that you'll see is with emails between, especially about board of directors. In the past, if you had sent an email to somebody who had one of the club email addresses, you would always get an email back from their personal email. It was a forwarding service. So if you send something to the president, it would come back. I'll make an example, Dave Sprague's personal email address.
Yeah.
It's a huge change now with Google Workspace for nonprofits is that they're true email addresses. So all the outgoing and incoming are all tied to a club email address. So that's going to help greatly when there's eventually, obviously there's going to be turnover at some point. The next person in that role, they're going to have access to the inbox and the sent mail. They're going to have all the history. So that's going to, sorry, I didn't mean to put my hand up. That's going to help a great deal with the transition. So for folks who haven't dealt with it yet, that's probably the first thing that you're going to see as a difference when you get communications back and forth.
Yeah, and you're going to see me in particular be a little annoying about reminding everybody to please start using the club email addresses. I still get emails sent to barry@sunset.net that are club related. I have the ability to reply back to those as president, president at the domain. So a little easier for me to figure that out, and I can help others figure that out too. But if you are sending out an email and you see that there's some board members in there, but you see their personal addresses in there, just go ahead and edit those and put in their club one. That keeps that thread now more within the club and outside of their personal email boxes, just for organizational standpoint. So thank you very much. I've got some technology stuff to bore you with. I'll try to keep it brief. So the website, whoops, lost my file. Get out of there. I hate when I do that. Scroll this guy up here. Mike Bradeur is still out, and so I've been the acting webmaster on the website. I think all the files and sections are up to date with one exception. I haven't pushed the new merchandise form up because I'm the acting promotions director right now too. I have edited it, sent a copy off to Steve to put in the magazine, but I updated the sold out items and made a couple little changes to that. One thing I don't have is the keys to the kingdom. I cannot access the server at a server level to go, for instance, if I wanted to go make a change to the source code, which I do have access to through a GitHub development platform that Mike shared with me, I can go make any changes to the website I want at that level, but I can't push them up to the server because the server got moved to a different location, and Barry hasn't given me those keys to the kingdom. So anyway, for now, everything's fine. But if you guys see any errors on the website, send an email to send them to president right now because webmaster still goes to Mike. I probably should change that, but yeah, send just let me know and I'll go take care of it. Let's see. I know I had some other stuff up here. Oh, on the inventory project, last week we literally got, I say done, but it's really 99% done. But we have documented everything that's in the CCA and Moog storage units. We will be making that list public pretty shortly. I got to do some cleanup and tidying up, getting rid of duplicate entries and stuff. We have about 2,243 lines, but a lot of those have quantities greater than one. So we have more than that number of items in that location. And we will be finished with everything in June. That needs to involve David Sprague, and we'll get that taken care of. I cannot thank enough the people that helped me do that inventory project. Gary Kuhl, Bill Lang, Rob Lang, Kathy and Mike Naraki, and Wendy Schultz. And if I left anybody out, raise your hand or let me know. But you guys were a tremendous help. I think it was like 10 or 11 total work days that we put into that. So that's good. It answers the nagging questions that many members were asking publicly. What the heck do we have, and why can't we know about it? Well, we do know what we have, and we're going to let you know about it real soon. Barry Berkowitz went over that stuff. I think I'm done with my promotions. I'll finish up with promotions. I went in and verified all the promotional items that we have against Sharona's inventory. And like I said, I revised the merch ad, and I need to figure out items that need to be ordered for the convention. So if any of you have been in the past ordering things through Sharona for the show, please let me know and I will add them to my list. Sharona just emailed me back with some details on which vendor she was using because I did not know that information, and I will get that taken care of. Who else do we have on the list here? David Sprague, are you on the call? He said
I don't see him.
Yeah, he said he might make it. I was going to ask him to make a convention update. He did sort of hint that his days of having 2 to 3 a.m. Board calls are kind of hopefully over. So that's probably why he's not on today.
Well, maybe Jim Steffner has some input.
Oh yeah, Jim, you're on the call. Please.
Yep, I'm here.
Can't hear you.
You hear me?
Yeah, you're a little quiet, Jim. If you can get a little closer to your microphone there.
He's muted, unmuted now.
Unmuted. Okay. It should work then, shouldn't it?
I can hear you.
You can? How's
Yep,
that?
you're good. That's much better.
That better?
Thank you. Yep.
Okay. As far as my part, I'm just handling the dealers, floor plans, that type of thing. And at this point, we've been getting pretty good response. I have 15 tables available. And that's out of about 84 tables.
Okay.
So we've done real good so far, and hopefully, the rest of these people will answer and return their contracts, and we'll be in good shape.
Very good.
Jim, historically, we get some late comers, right?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Some of them, I think, last year, there was one we had to chase down with I don't know how many emails and phone calls. and they still never sent the thing in correctly and ended up in a different location and all kinds of hassles. But all you got to do is get them to cooperate a little bit, and then everything is okay.
Jim, can I make a request for next year? In the directions, when people are making payment for tables, they should be directed to make the check out to CCA or CCGTCC and not to 26 convention or 27 convention. You can put that information in the in the memo spot on the check. The bank hasn't given me any grief yet, but
They could, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, they could just send all those checks I just deposited back to me and say they're made out to somebody that's not this account.
okay, that's a good point. I'll make a note on that.
And that goes for anybody else soliciting payment. Have them make the payments out, not to Mike Naraki for membership, but to CCA, and then in the memo column put things. I used to get dozens of checks made out to Jay Sands, and I had to forge his signature on the back.
Hey, that works.
Well, it works until they put me in jail for forgery. So I'm not looking forward to that.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all I can give you as a report on convention. David's handling the rest of it.
Okay. I want to let everybody know part of the Google Workspace add-ons is forms. We have the ability to make forms, and those forms can contain QR codes and links to PayPal, things like that. So I'm going to try to find a way to optimize the registration process for attendees, for pre-registration, for dealers, table signups, and just anything that we want to take payments for, merchandise orders, things of that nature. So look forward to me or my designee bugging you about that if you have things that require payments. I think that will help things along quite a bit. Thank you, Jim, for that report. I guess part of the convention is the poker tournament. Just for those of you who play poker in the tournament and were very disillusioned last year, it's been fixed. We've already talked to the poker tournament manager at the South Point, and we're going to run the tournament in a much more normal, acceptable fashion, and it will be a good time. So for those of you who said, I'm not playing in this tournament ever again, please reconsider. It'll be good. Can't think of anything else convention wise that I know of. So
Barry, you and I have insight into the raffle. James was joined us for dinner, I guess, for Casey's birthday.
Yep.
And James is saying that he is handling the raffle right now, but would like for us to try and find somebody else to take over. But in his planning right now, he has stuff, but he wants more. And he doesn't want the stuff that are in the winning people's bag from last year.
Right.
Because it just keeps getting recycled and recycled and recycled. He's desperately looking for chips. He really wants some ashtrays and some meaningful things. Moreover, he's also looking to expand it in that on Saturday at the convention, the raffle table is empty. There's nobody there doing a raffle, and there's no prizes, no bags, no nothing. So he's developing to have not the big bags like we normally have, but to have smaller ones that will provide additional raffle sales for us, especially the people that come in on Saturday that are not club members to spend money on those raffle items. So I thought that was a good approach, right, Doug?
Yeah. I mean, the reason that we did it we do it on those 2 days is a couple of reasons. One, it gives people the opportunity to pick them up. What you don't want to do is give out some big raffle bags on Saturday and that person's not there, and then you end up mailing 3 or 4 of them. But it's also, if he's going to do something on Saturday, you're going to have people manning the table on Saturday. And
right.
That means another couple of volunteers. So
yeah, he's mindful of that.
Yeah, I spoke with Scott Perriott today He's sending over his list of volunteers from last year that he wants me to kind of publish and have people confirm or add their names into. So if any of you need volunteers to help with whatever club tables you're manning this year, let me or Scott know, and we'll adjust that form to add more positions for that, or find people to help you out. So,
Yeah, based on what I got for feedback and what I saw, well, going into last year and then not being there, we're going to need people for the front desk for
Yes.
registration. I can't get that enough from the old sources, and we're definitely short on those numbers.
okay, good to
And Scott
know.
needs to add that to his list. I mean, in the past, Brenda handled that with her own group of people, but Steve's right. It was, it was a problem there. But you were there as well, Barry. That was, we just didn't have enough people there at registration.
Right.
He's going to have to add some people from that volunteer list to. I'm there.
Yep.
I'd like to go back to the raffle for 1 second. I give Doug some kudos. His impromptu 50-50 raffles were very successful last year. And that doesn't need many people or much planning, but you did a good job on that last year and it created some extra revenue.
Thank you. I mean, it's we go around just shame everyone into not being a cheapskate and don't giving us $20.
Nobody enjoyed it more than me last year. Trust me.
All right. We have.
You can circle back to me if you want.
Well, I have one more thing, the club auction I wanted to talk about, and then I think that's the last.
Ashtrays, I'll stick them in the box, about 40 of them that I'm sending you with the chips.
What was that?
We want ashtrays. Jim said something about ashtrays. I probably got 30 or 40 of them here. I'll stick
for
in
the
the
raffle?
box. Yeah, I'll stick those in the box with the chips I'm going to send you.
Right. Yeah,
Awesome.
to James, his address.
Yeah, do you have James's address, Dan?
I can get it.
Okay.
That's fine.
But I think this is a good tie into the inventory that we just went through all the boxes in the Moog, and there are boxes and boxes and boxes of ashtrays and everything else. And, we've got to come up with a disposition once we get everything documented and work with the Moog board to see, can some of these things be earmarked to be in raffle bags or in auctions?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a dusty storage unit that's just chock full of stuff, and I hope to God the ultimate plan is to, just keep them in the storage forever. So, we can let them see the light of day, let some people enjoy them. They were donated for purpose of improving the club, and we've got to, take advantage of things like this. It's, I agree. I don't think everybody wants to win a raffle bag that is everybody's leftovers from the previous year.
Yep. All right. I'm going to move on to club auction. I've put out one solicitation so far. Items are starting to come in. People sent me some emails saying I'll have stuff on my doorstep when I get home. I want to tie in a live auction, or tie in our live auction with an online auction, opening this up to virtually anybody who isn't coming to the convention. And this includes people just doing general Google searches for auctions that want to participate. I don't know if anybody's familiar with hibid.com, HIBID.com. That's an auction platform. I don't know that they have a live component to it, but we can put all of our items on that. People who search HiBid for anything, silver strikes, chips, dice, whatever, if they see one item that they're interested in and they hit on our auction, they're going to participate in our auction. I fully expect this will double or triple our revenues for the auction itself. And I think it'll provide a little more excitement as well, because people, even sitting in the audience with a paddle, they can be sitting there on their phone tapping bid, bid, bid. Nobody knows they're bidding, even though they're in the room. And obviously, the more we can raise, the better it is. So anyway, send your items in. My understanding is There are donated items, which people are just giving to us to keep 100% of the proceeds. And then there are consignment items that are given to us where we keep 10%, I think has been the traditional amount. Um, we haven't really had a buyer's premium in the past, but with the online auction component, we could do that and maybe.
We do have buyer's premium.
We do,
Oh, we
yes.
do. Okay.
Yeah, everyone pays 10%. Is it 10% or 15%? Whatever it is, the same thing as a seller's premium.
Okay. Well, then what I'd like to alter that to is have because typically when you go to a lot of these online auctions, the buyer's premium's 20, 25%. What I'd like to do is if you're a non-member, your buyer's premium's 20%. If you're a member, 10% or 5% or 12%, whatever it is. I think that would encourage people to become members, and those who are not members and don't care about the club, whatnot, they just pay a fee that they would normally pay in any other auction. There's really no penalty there that they would perceive. Any thoughts on that?
So,
A lot of mailing stuff. I mean,
There would be.
right now, I don't know. I never really understood this, but somehow it became the treasurer's job to mail out tips from the convention.
I will take that on myself unless somebody else wants to do it. But
So if you do, I'm just
but-
saying, if you go to an online situation like that, right now, 99% of the chips get picked up in person.
right.
You're gonna have to mail a lot of them if you're doing online stuff like that.
I'm already anticipating that, and I'm willing to take that on as my personal issue, if especially because I think it's going to work out to where we're going to make so much more money doing it this way.
You get my vote.
I mean, not that I get any benefit out of it, but I think it's going to be huge for the club. So, um, is anybody opposed to having an online auction component to this for any reason?
Well, historically, the auction has been a private auction,
Right?
only for CCA members,
Mm-hmm.
because we're not licensed auctioneers. So I'm not sure how that translates if you're going to do an online auction, but you need to keep that in mind.
Okay. Um, Yeah, I think high bid auctions, I think they are the auctioneer as far as the online component goes, so we don't need to register anything. I think anybody can fire one of those up. Um, but you're right, if we do the live thing, well, the other alternative to high bid was some of you may know who Fred Holabird is. He's an auctioneer in Reno. He just retired and he has a website. He does these live auctions with the whole video and the clickable this. Um, I don't I imagine he's not using his platform anymore. I don't know if his staff is planning on continuing things. I was going to reach out to them and find out. But if we could just use their platform, then and I don't mean we have to do it out of Reno. I just mean we set the cameras up in our room and do our thing. But if we do it under the auspices of that, then you have an auctioneer's license there as well. But we'll have to see. But anyway, does anybody dislike the concept? Like, do you think it's a bad idea? We won't make money? Or Charles, like you said, do you feel like we should restrict it to members only?
I'm just bringing up the point that historically it's always been a private auction,
Yeah.
and that's
Well,
because we're not licensed auctioneers.
gotcha. Well, I'd like to try to change that history. I mean, I would even almost argue I would rather just have it be online. We can talk about it in the room, but maybe not take, everybody who wants to bid would go through the high bid system so we don't have any issues like that. But I'm still looking into it. I'll let you know if I hit any roadblocks or if there's any requirements that may prevent us from doing that. Maybe we
I
can.
think you're right
quick
on
question,
track.
Barry.
So that'll really bolster your income from the auction. And like the worry of members and non-members. Well, if you're non-member, you pay. That's all, right?
You
Pay
mean the
that
extra
extra.
premium? Yeah. Yeah.
This might be, as much as I've never missed an auction, and I love the auction that we have. It's not the same as it was 10 years ago. I mean, when we had some high dollar chips there and we had some big dogs in the room that were just bidding whatever it took to get the chips. Now it's the same stuff over and over. And I mean, after the break, I mean, you might have 10 people left in that room. I think this would really boost it if you look at an online option.
Well, I'm not telling anybody what it is, but I've got one thing I'll announce and one thing I'll tease you with. I'm going to be personally donating an item that is Z2 value. So there will be at least one chip with some significant value up for auction, and I'm 100% donating it. I'm not doing a commission consignment thing on that. The other thing I want to definitely talk about is, for those of you who don't know, I'm a poker dealer at 3 different casinos in Reno right now, and my newest position is at the Atlantis. And my poker room manager there, Shannon, I asked her if she had things that the poker room would donate for the raffle, for the goodie bags, just anything like that, or would the casino give us a couple free nights to give away? And she says, oh, and she walks me around this corner and she goes, "How would you like 2 roulette tables?"
Wheels. Wheels.
They're, well, I assume so. They're in box. I haven't even, we didn't open them up, but there's a stack of boxes. It's about the size. I mean, it's smaller than like a folding table, but the two are probably about 3 feet tall total. So 4 boxes maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, she's like, these have been sitting here for years. I don't even think the pit knows that they left them over here. I'm sure we can get rid of them. And yes, we need a donation letter and all that. But anyway, we'll have a roulette table or two to throw in there. Jim actually
You got
pointed.
a nice wheel in there, boy. You'll get some money for that.
Oh
What's
yeah.
that?
You got a nice wheel in there. You'll get some
Yeah,
money for that.
yeah. So,
Especially then you'd have to go online.
well, as Jim pointed out, if there's a logo on it anywhere, that obviously drives the value of it up much more versus just some whatever generic home game
Right.
plastic wheel. So, uh, I I work
I know
again
how to
right
make
on the front end.
stickers.
Okay, good. We change it all to 00. Is that what you're going to do? I
Oh,
will.
Put a
very.
name on it.
Yeah.
Just,
Uh,
could I ask a question
yeah.
with regard to the auction?
Go ahead, Bob.
Yes, two questions. One, we have had a silent auction of a couple of dozen chips. I didn't know if you plan to continue that or not. I'm not
Yes.
wed to, but you're going to do that too.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then
And I think
okay,
Alex
then the other
Salento is still
question.
planning to run that part of the auction.
Okay. Then the other question is, we've published a catalog of the auction items. I think, I'm not sure if it was Jay that put it together and then published it. I think it was just a PDF on, on the club website. Is that something that's in the works to have a catalog, et cetera?
Yeah, Jay gave me all the files. I haven't had time to dig into them fully yet, although I met with him last time I was in Las Vegas. We spent, David Sprague says, "You're going to need to spend a couple hours with Jay to figure this out," because, they obviously step down as auction chairs, and I'm kind of the de facto one. If somebody else wants to do it, feel free. But he gave me all the files. I think we spent 15 minutes. It's very well organized, very well put together. There's some programming behind it, which I've never really looked into, and hopefully I won't need to. But I've already made a folder and copied his templates into that folder, and I will be endeavoring to take the first group of items that have come in, and I'll put those in and just start playing with it and see how it goes. But I do plan to put out a catalog. In fact, what I'll probably do is use the new what we use to publish the magazine. I'll use that to create a flippable catalog that will be kind of nice to review in that form as well. And of course, if we do the online thing, the online auction is the catalog, right? You can certainly just scroll through those online. But for the people that are live in the room, we will print some catalogs for people to have in hand at the live auction, so they can kind of prepare their bids. But yeah, it's all kind of in the works. A lot of excitement. And by the way, I could use some additional help with the auction, organizing, or just, hey, make some phone calls, send out some emails, get more people to send more items in. So I know there's a lot of people already doing a lot of things, but if you can squeeze a little more bandwidth to give to me, I would love to have it, because I have about 4 things that I'm kind of in charge of right now.
Well, right now, going back to the election, we've got 8 people running for 3 positions. That means 5 people are not going to be elected on the board. 5 people who would like to volunteer. be on the board. Hopefully, they will be able to volunteer for other positions, whoever doesn't win.
That's true. They should start now. It'll help them with their campaigns. Um, let's see, where are we in the I'm also social media director. I've posted a few things, but I wouldn't say I'm going nuts with it. I'm not out creating more content. The board has yet to approve any of the people that put their names in for being the social media director. So it's still me for now, posting what I can when I can, or when it's sent to me to put up there. Um, I think that is everything I have on my agenda. What would you lovely people like to talk about?
Would you like to hear from the Moog?
Oh, that's what we skipped. Oh, I know why, because I had yeah. Please do. Charles, take it away.
All right, I'll start with the chip guide.
Okay.
As of today, we've got about 344,000 items on the chip guide, and that's in about 33,000 casinos. There are 75 or so submissions that are waiting to be processed in the queue. January activity, we added 1,754 items, made 4,262 changes, and removed 83 items. So that's about a total of 6,100 updates that we made in January, and that's about 200 per day. So that's chip guide activity and statistics. I'm still seeing lots of robot activity on the chip guide. I monitor it daily, and I can classify it into good robots and bad robots. The good robots are robots that can help us, and those are like search engines that are scanning our website, gathering information so that when you do a search on Google, the chip guide will come up. And I see chip guide come up more and more often and higher on the list. So that's a good thing. Gesundheit. The bad robots are ones who are looking to do malicious stuff and looking at our website to try and figure out how they could sell us some stuff. When we find bad robots, they get banned from the website. So it's always a daily activity to monitor to see what kind of robot activity we have on the website. The DDoS attacks continue. There's always some daily activity, but it's not a lot, and the website can handle it. Occasionally, there'll be a flare-up where there are lots of traffic coming in on a DDoS attack. And then we have some things that we can do to minimize those. I still need to implement Cloudflare. I got down the road quite a bit on it and then got to a place where the instructions were telling me to do one thing, but the screens I was looking at were completely different. And I didn't want to go any further because what happens with Cloudflare is you route all your traffic to Cloudflare. They sanitize it and do whatever they do and then forward it over to you. So if I screwed it up, the traffic might not ever get to the chip guide, and that's what I was worried about. So I stopped, and I need to find somebody who's got Cloudflare expertise that could help me complete the project. So, and what Cloudflare will do for us is they will keep out all the bad traffic and stop the DDoS attacks.
So Charles,
So,
I'm familiar with how that's done. I'm not a Cloudflare expert, but if you need help, let me know. I can certainly take a look
okay,
at it.
okay, thank you. What have we done new on the chip guide? And we're always doing some new stuff. So this is stuff that we've been working on since the last board's meeting. When you look at an item on the chip guide and you can see all the people that have it in their collection or on their want and trade list, um, we made an update to that, and their names are now links that when you click on their name, it will format an email to them. So if you see somebody's got a chip in their collection and you have some questions about it, click on their name and email away.
Nice.
And that was based on a suggestion by the guy who I'm looking at right now on the screen. Thank you, Barry.
You're welcome.
Okay. We made a change beginning of the year to the Chip Guide News Service. That's the service that sends you a daily email with all the updates of the Chip Guide. It is now available only to CCA members. And CCA members used to have to fill out a form, and then it would get reviewed and either approved or not approved. Now, because we have CCA members logging in, CCA members can subscribe or cancel their subscriptions by themselves. So when you're logged on, you'll have a CGNS link, and it'll tell you if you're subscribed or not subscribed, and you can change it. So that's now a end user function, and I no longer have to do the approvals. Look for the submissions and do the approvals. I had proposed a Chip Guide Trail membership program, and due to lack of interest, I'm not going to move forward on it unless I hear otherwise. But it would have involved, significant change to the logon process, because right now the logon is only for CCA members. So I was going to have to figure out a way to allow logons for non-CCA members. But right now that's been shelved. The process for capturing CCA membership information and putting it into the chip guide to keep logins accurate has been evolving, and we're about one step away from automating the process. Right now, every time there's a change to the membership file, Mike Naraki will send me a copy of the new file, and then I'll upload it into the chip guide. That file is now on Google Drive, and I just ran a test today to see if I could access it directly by my capture program, and I got a forbidden notice. So my
I think
program
I
doesn't
can
have the right authority to get that file.
I can probably help you with that because I can share it too. Like we can make a generic moog at ccgtcc.com address, and you can have your program use that as authentication to get access to that file.
Okay. Well, I just did it right before this meeting, so
Gotcha. So that
that's
link that
good.
I sent you, did that work better than the one that Mike tried to share?
Well,
It got you at least to the
well,
player.
the other link, when I clicked on it, I got a viewer of the file. I don't want a
Yeah.
viewer of the file. I want the file itself.
You can either share something to be edited or you can share it read-only mode. And I think Mike created the link for a read-only version of that. Um, but anyway, we'll work on it.
We'll
Yeah.
figure it out. And then it will be automated, and every day it'll go and get the current CCA membership file and load it in. Let's see. The other thing in the works is a right to use agreement between myself and the CCA as far as the software and the contents of the chip guide. And we were ready to sign, and I had another thought of something there. I asked for a addition to be made, and I'm not really sure where that stands right now.
I I need to reach out to Michael because I thought that was done as well, but we'll get that
Okay.
done next couple of days here, I guess.
Okay.
Is he off? He's not on the call.
Yeah, I'm ready to sign as soon as
Okay, perfect.
I get a
That's
copy.
awesome, man. No, we appreciate all the work that you've done for that code, and it'll give everybody a warm and fuzzy to know that we have that right to use in perpetuity, and it just answers everybody's questions or addresses those. So awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Okay. Moving on,
Uh-huh.
the MOG started a monthly seminar series. This is an online seminar. It'll happen on a Tuesday night each month. The first one was held on January 20th. The topic was the Chip Guide My Collection feature. We had 27 people enrolled and about 15 attendees on the session. The session was recorded and we put it onto YouTube. If you'd like to see it and you missed it, you could go to the MOG website. There's a section on videos, and all you need to do is click a link and you can view the seminar. The next, go
I
ahead.
was going to say, did you link to, because I pushed that same video up to the CCA side because you had originally pushed it up in your personal account. Does your link go to the CCA YouTube?
Goes to YouTube,
But the CCA YouTube or your YouTube?
the MOG YouTube.
Oh, the Moog YouTube. Oh, is that?
It's not personal.
Okay.
The MOG has a YouTube
The
channel.
original one you put out was under you, or you published it under your name. So you pushed it up to the Moog. Okay, great. I just want to make sure the views are coming somewhere into the club, whether it's the Moog or CCA. So that's good. All right, thanks.
No, it's
And I,
always
I want
been.
to
Go
I
ahead.
want to mention that Charles sent me the list of the attendees, and I ran it against the CCA membership list, and I followed up with the 5 people who attended that seminar who were not already CCA members. So just kind of thanking them for getting some exposure. Hopefully they enjoyed it. And here's a link to join our club if you've got any questions to reach out. So
Right.
thank you, Charles, for doing that. That's the right way, full circle.
Okay, you're welcome.
Very nice.
The next seminar is Tuesday, February 24th, and it will be on the Chip Guide search facilities. And we're holding a contest for collectors. We're asking them to submit hard-to-find chips, and if we use one of their submissions, they will get rewarded with a chip from me.
Nice.
Okay, so we need additional topics and speakers. I don't want it to be just about the chip guide. I want it to be kind of like the sessions we have at the convention. But so far we haven't been getting a lot of volunteers, so I'll keep doing them until we get others to commit to doing them.
All right.
All right, convention planning. We have all 4 seminar slots taken. We will certainly fill all 4. We're not exactly sure what all 4 will be. That's still in the works, but we have commitment to do at least 4 of them. We also have the banquet speaker set, and that will be as announced at the convention last year, Las Vegas Mayor Shelley Berkeley.
And I still need to get a formal acceptance by her, but that's what we worked out.
Right. Okay. I had a couple of ideas yesterday. They are still in discussion. And these are projects that I think can help the CCA using the MOG resources. Jim, do you think I ought to share them at this point?
Well, that's all right. Yeah. I believe it's okay.
Okay. So the first one is the idea of adding set collections to the chip guide. We're getting some background noise from somebody on the call.
Hey, whoever's
Jim?
got the talking in the back.
That's Jim Wobry.
Oh,
All right.
Okay, thank you, Jim. All right, so the first idea is to add set collections to the chip guide. And what we would do is set up a separate category for set collections. And those who have a set collection can submit it to the chip guide. And it would the set collection would kind of appear the way a casino does today. So we would have information about the set, and then we would have the items in the set. And I thought that would be a way to offer set collectors a reason to um, get interest in the CCA.
Would those sets be attributed to the person that owns them, or would they just be in a general category? Like,
No, it would be this is so and so's set.
okay,
It's got 200 of these $1 chips,
right.
and it would either be an existing $1 chip on the chip guide, and you would give me the chip guide number, and we would include it that way, or it would be this is a item I went out and had these made, so you'd have to provide images of it, and then we would add it into that set.
Yeah, I will say Charles came up with this yesterday. This is extremely preliminary, and we're going to have additional discussion. The Moog board will on this because you just brought up a point that says, is the individual identified as to who owns it? There's a lot of ramifications on that. Some don't want to be identified. Some want to be identified as their avatar, and then they sell the set. And so we don't want to be in the position of trying to track who the owner is. And then when you have a set that's $1 from one casino, $5 from a different casino, and like that, those sets also get broken up. So Charles and I and others will have to figure out a good way in which to present it on chip guide. So
Right.
that's a bit of
Yeah, and I've already had some of those thoughts, and
yeah.
it's not going to be too difficult to do.
I think it's
Um,
similar. Like if I identify a chip that I have in my collection, and then I sell it or trade it away, but it's still in my collection, it's obviously incorrect because it's not in my collection anymore. But if somebody were to email me and say, "Hey, I see you have this. Can I buy it, or you want to trade it?" I'm gonna say, "Oh, I don't have it anymore," and then it's still up to me to go take it out. I think it would be the same with the set. If somebody gets rid of it, um, at least somebody can see what that set looks like or looked like at the time. So I think you're on the right track.
yeah, and my thought was going to be, yes, I know sets get sold. I would allow the set owner the ability to change
Right.
the owner
Transfer.
to transfer to
Yeah.
somebody else.
Okay.
But again, it's still preliminary. I thought it would be an idea that would get set collectors more interest in the CCA.
Yeah. Well, I would say to the extent you can, the handful of people that are already kind of involved in the CCA that are set collectors, get their input on what they think would be good additions to the chip guide or other ways that we can collaborate and then move forward with it. All right.
Can I
Any
throw in a
questions?
little something on that?
Excuse me?
May I throw in a little comment on that?
Sure.
I
Sure.
think
Are you a set collector, sir?
I am a set collector and
Oh,
a singles collector.
all right.
I'm sick with both. Um, as far as ramifications with the sets guys, I think you'll find the attribution of the image. They'll love to be attributed with the image. They kind of like to brag about their sets, and if you go on the two forums, you'll see that everybody loves to show their sets and claim ownership of them. I think it's kind of like the pride in when they send you the single chips and
Right.
attributed by you kind of take pride in that. So as far as the tracking of the ownership of the sets, I think I'd probably maybe forget about that. I don't know that they
You don't
would.
think it's that important to the
Yeah,
collectors? Yeah.
Well,
So that's just
we'll figure
my
it
two
out.
cents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And as
good.
far as Cloudflare goes, I am a Cloudflare business. It's the backbone of the security of my site. And I think Tommy uses it also. So if you need help with that, Charles, flip me an email with any questions you have, and I'd be more than happy to help you with anything with Cloudflare if you need the help.
Yeah, I'm out of
Okay.
a job. One job.
All right. My second idea is the Casino Collectible Hall of Fame.
Say
We
that
all
again.
have favorite items, and why not create a Hall of Fame for them?
Is that similar to the top 10 list, but on a larger scale? Maybe?
The top 10 lists are very informal. This would be more of a formal thing.
Mhm.
My idea would be that we would have a panel of experts to include not just people who are in the club, but people who are on the Moog Advisory Board. People like Neon Museum or Mob Museum people or, um, you know, people who have a wider view of what would be of interest as far as casino collectibles. And they would come up with a list of candidates every year that the CCA membership would vote on, and items that hit a minimum level would then get inducted into the Hall of Fame, and we would have an induction ceremony that could be a fundraiser.
Okay.
So the idea is this is something that we could get a lot of publicity on, wouldn't cost very much to do, and we could actually make money doing it.
All right. Look forward to seeing more details on that.
Okay.
Anything else for the Moog?
I'm going to turn it over to Jim to do a convention and exhibit update.
All right.
Thank you, Charles. Also, I'll add we recently added another chip guide admin.
Oh, I forgot. I don't know how I skipped that, but we did add two admins,
Right.
Dan Montenegro and Gary, excuse me if I mispronounced his last name, Stathos. Anyway, we did add two new admins. They went through the training and they're active admins right now, adding stuff into the chip guide.
Yeah, when you mentioned that 6,100 changes in 1 month, I was like, I I know there's a lot of admins, but that's a lot of work, whether it's a few or a lot. So good to get more people on that side of things. So
All
very
right,
good.
Jim, take it away.
All right. I'll start or segue right into the Moog stuff again. Pam, my wife, who's a Moog board member, and I, through Charles's assistance, we met with the Neon Museum, the current CEO of the Neon Museum. They have some extensive changes coming up in the next couple years. And as everyone's heard that are moving, they didn't really provide a great deal of information about that. And then also they hold us to secrecy on what they wanted to reveal to us. But they are moving, and they know that they would like to have help from the Museum of Gaming History as it relates to acquiring for display, not really buying, but, loaning like we do right now at the El Cortez and the Plaza, even over at Spinetti's, and as we've done elsewhere, including the Neon Museum in the past. So we met with them. It sounds good, but it's a long range goal or a long range activity. So we're staying in touch with them. The MOG also does the convention exhibits, the educational exhibits. I've sent to Steve Miller the call for exhibits. for the magazine that's upcoming. But also, even as far back as the convention last year, I still have people that approach me and say they'd like to do an exhibit, and we discuss what the other ground rules are and stuff like that. So we try and have about 6 exhibits, and we're not too far away from that. But meanwhile, people, even though there's a deadline to confirm an exhibit, we still keep it open all the way up until the last moment. The only thing that somebody would miss out on as it relates to doing it last minute is that they're not in the program, the convention program. But meanwhile, they're still eligible for people to vote on it and things of that nature. As the vice president, I'm happy to report once again there are no claims in process, which is always a good thing. No matter how you look at it, that's always good. Also, we've been seeking an auctioneer. We know that we have the services of Dick Bartley. However, you can't talk for that long. And we don't know what the impact is of perhaps having it be digital or online. But we are still looking for a little relief person of an auctioneer. So if you have done auctions, wanted the challenge to do that, please let us know, either Barry or myself.
Well, I've got an update for you on that. Jerry Burrell volunteered to be an auctioneer, and I ran that past David Sprague, and he said that would be fine, or thought that was a good idea. So
Great. Because Jerry sure has gift of gab.
well, apparently he's done some auctions or live auctions like this in Atlantic City.
Well, he's been our auctioneer in
okay,
Atlantic
great,
City.
great.
Good.
So
Good. I'm glad that's working out.
And then Scott Perriott, when I talked to him this afternoon, he said that he wouldn't mind jumping up there too. He goes, I like to talk. I talk really fast. I said, well, okay, I'll.
Yeah, but he talks in all caps.
That's right. But anyway, I think we have at least, somebody else that can give a break if needed. So that'll be good.
That's essentially it, other than the amount of time I spend reading Barry's lengthy emails.
You're welcome. I provide nightly entertainment and sleep aids. Before we move on, do you guys see these? I know they're in slabs. Don't panic. I found these. Whoops, we're getting in front of the camera here. It's backwards. These are all coins, not chips, but I mean, that's a $50, dollars, dimes, quarters, proof coins, whatever. These I found in, I believe is on the CCA side. And Jim, does anybody know what the or origin of these are? And can I get permission to put these in this year's club auction, even though it's prohibited or something by policy?
Well, the board has to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's insurmountable, but the board needs to discuss it.
Yeah.
Either revamp the policy or do away with it or whatever. But that's our discussion, I believe.
All right. But otherwise, I don't know what to do.
But I don't know how coins got in there, other than somebody may have donated them with other stuff.
They may have, but there's
no slabs and put them to the side.
Yeah, there's nothing other than one certificate of authenticity, but that's it. But there's some value here. I don't know what they are. I'm not a coin guy, but it wouldn't be too hard to go look up what an MS-70 blah 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 is and see what they're going for.
That's right.
It's good money and gets it off the shelves. One less thing to inventory.
Inventory. You mentioned inventory. Yeah. Pam is the promotions director for the Moog, and she and I have completed the majority of the inventory for the Moog's promotional items. This is not what Barry's been doing. This is something that we do annually for Doug. Not Doug. I'm sorry, Doug. For Bud. Sounds like Doug, but it's not. So we're almost completed with that.
Okay. Yeah, and I think I asked you if you wanted to incorporate that into the overall, uh, like, well, no, because no, don't worry about it. That's
Yeah, we'd have to
covered
talk
stuff.
to Charles, like I said.
Yeah. The I do have for the CCA promotions merchandise stuff, I expanded on Sharona's spreadsheet where she was kind of tracking inventory. I have it now where we have on hand plus whatever we ordered this year for the show, and then columns for sales, and then what we should have left over so we can do a final inventory after the show, make it a little bit easier to track sales and leftovers and stuff like that. So I'm also considering trying to put all of our merchandise online or through a fulfillment center so that, certainly we'll still have all the items we usually do at the show. But if people want to get things outside of the show, they can, or they want to get something like I don't know, a cell phone cover with our logo on it, something we wouldn't normally buy a bunch of for the show. They can go order anything they want through a fulfillment center. We'll make a little something off of every sale that way. So we'll see. Another one of my many side projects. Let's open the meeting up to any public comment. If anybody would like to say anything, again, reminder, we're not doing any campaign speeches. So if you're a candidate, refrain from that. But any kudos you want to give to people or ideas you want to throw at us, now's the time. Give everybody a couple minutes to say something. If you want to, raise your hand. Or I guess just speak up. Microphones are unmuted unless you muted yourself. Was that a hand up? There's Bob
That's me.
Pardue. Go ahead.
Just a quick question with regard to the storage lockers. Did I understand that you're done with that project, or is there still a plan to late March or early April to have one more shot at working the storage lockers?
Um, I don't need any more help if that's what you're asking
It is.
for. Yeah, no, the only thing left to do is David Sprague has some items that he's going to be putting into the inventory. And so when he gets here in June for the convention, he said we'd wrap all that up at that time. So I'll be the data entry guy and he'll show me or tell me what he's got and we'll get that taken care of. But even prior to that, I just need a couple of hours probably to go through all the items that we've gone through in June, November, and January, clean it up, find the duplicates, get the quantities together, and then I'll put that list out for everybody to see. We're not putting out donor information or anything private like that. It's pretty much going to be a list. We're not going to put values on anything. Yeah, but you'll now know how many shipwreck number 18s we have, that sort of thing. And a lot of this stuff, I think, we've already had a discussion about it. A lot of the real excess stuff that we don't need to keep 17 copies of, we're going to make available at the show. We have 20 or 22 boxes, I think, at this point of duplicate library slash periodical slash catalog things. And that's after keeping pretty much two of everything. So we have a lot that we can either put on a for sale bin or a free table like we did with some other stuff, but that all needs to be coordinated with the MOG and the board, the CCA board. So no real official word on that yet, but it's all been separated out so that there's actually a lot of room. Charles, you haven't seen it yet, but that aisle down the middle of the MOG unit, it's clear all the way back to that one display case that's on its side. So no more of those little rolling carts in front. Everything's up on shelves. So out of the way.
I think Doug Smith had a hand up. No,
No, he was probably lighting a cigar.
not in the house.
Oh, well,
I had a quick question. I probably misheard this, but did you say we had a social media volunteers that we turned down? Are we in a position to turn anybody down?
they, for one reason or another, they were not approved by the board. I just have to leave it at that. So, yeah. So I'm in.
Okay. I mean, we got so many open positions where, I mean, even if they're not great, are we really, what are we looking for?
I don't want to get into details, but it's probably more of there's
All right. I mean, don't get into
historical
it then. I'm
reasons.
just saying if
Yeah.
we're turning people down, no wonder we're not getting people that are stepping up. I mean,
Oh, no, that's not right because the
Yeah.
thing is that we have to do a little bit of screening on who we appoint or who Barry appoints into positions. If somebody isn't reliable to speak for the club, well, I don't want them there just because they
okay.
want to do it. I don't want them there.
Okay.
We
Well,
spend a lot
I
of
would
time
recommend
vetting.
we don't say we got anyone at all. Don't say we got people coming in and we turned them down. I wouldn't say anything at all then because that's just sending out the wrong message. We're
Well,
begging people to take to help out, and we're publicly saying that we've turned people down. So I would just wouldn't say anything at all. That's
okay.
my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got any ideas? All right. Well, this will be one of my longer meetings, 7:37 my time, so 2.5 hours ish. I do appreciate you guys hanging in there. There's still 20 people on the call. I think we had 27 at the max, 24 most of the way through. Thank you all very much for your participation and being interested in the activities of the club. If you have ideas for future agenda items, just shoot them to one of the board members, and we'll be glad to talk about it in our meetings and talk about them in the public meeting.
So you're telling me I could have dropped off earlier and not stayed the whole time?
Yes, Doug, you could have. I mean, no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to leave. All right. Thanks again, everybody. With that, I think we will adjourn the meeting.
Thank
Thank
you all.
you.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
good night.
Right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Back, Doug, you got to stay after we're all gone.
Yeah.
I want to log on and see your pretty face later.
I'm halfway outside the smoke.
Me too.
Well, I won't click end if you guys want to have a little powwow. It's going to go on the record, though.
Yeah, no. It's okay.
All right. Meeting is ending. Have a good night.
Good night.